What drew you to this role or the show? What was the thing that attracted you?
I think what's really interesting about the show is that, I mean, it's set in real time and it could really happen. And I think that just kind of plays a nerve, like, with me, because imagine if this happened, and it made me feel, it just got me thinking, and I couldn't stop thinking about the script and about the situation, and if it really did happen, like, how would you act, how would you be inside this quarantined area? But yeah, I think that's really what drew me to it first off.
Have you seen the European Cordon series that this was based on?
No, I haven't seen the Belgian series. I kind of made some of the cast decided to watch it and some decided not to, and I decided not to. I just didn't want. We're doing it a bit differently, and I didn't want to be kind of set in or guided. Didn't want my character to be guided in a certain way, because when I looked at it and then, oh, that's Teresa and that's how she should be, but really, you know, I'm playing Teresa and it's a bit different, and I just didn't want to be, too influenced by it. And I want it to be a surprise, because then I get to read the scripts and be like, oh my gosh, yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about her over-involved parents and how, that dynamic?
Yeah, it's really interesting relationship that Teresa has with her mom, because she's at the start of the series, you're dealing with this, you see this mother-daughter relationship that maybe is quite common or quite familiar in lots of households, and they're dealing with that, just around this time, teenagers can be difficult, or teenagers think that parents can be difficult. And then you've added another layer before the Cordon area, before the disease outbreak, which is that she's pregnant, and that's probably not what it isn't what my mum wanted for me. And so then that's tension. And then you get this disease outbreak, which is really interesting, because then you've got these 3 layers of just everyone trying to cope and trying to be just trying to talk to each other and live life, but it just all gets too much.
How does her being pregnant affect how she reacts inside of Cordon?
Oh, she's just moods just like that. No, I think everything is already scary, because you don't know what's going to happen inside the Cordon. You don't know, what disease. You don't even know what disease it is. But then she's also going through this thing inside her body that feels so foreign. She has no idea what it's supposed to feel like. Nobody, for the first time, if you're pregnant, I assume, you don't know if that pain is normal, but you'd call you'd call the doctor, be like, hey, I've got a pain. You can't do that anymore. You're just kind of okay, maybe that's normal, that's this, that's that. And then you've also kind of, dealing with disease everywhere and trying to be clean, and yeah, it's awful.
Has being a part of this show changed your habits at all when you're going through airports and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, you definitely notice it more. I don't know, I use that sanitizer. What is it called? It's just called sanitizer all the time. Just use it just in case. I think I'll be set if there's ever.
So just the hand sanitizer, nothing else, no wet wipes on
the wet. It's a good idea. I could get into it. Just everything. Just after this interview, you just see me. I'm just we were talking about that as a cast, and we all are a lot more aware of it. And I was going through an airport the other day, and someone coughed, and I was like, they should be more careful, because
Can you talk about her family business, and will that play into any kind of resource need of people in the Cordon?
I think it's Teresa's mum runs a grocery mart, and it's definitely helpful owning a grocery mart when you want food. That's all I'll say.
You have a very big cast, and a lot of the characters are separated from one another.
Yeah.
Do you get excited when you get a script and get to work with somebody new?
So excited. And I get so excited about that, because we know each other so well. And then we're like, oh my gosh, we finally, we get to meet in this episode. But yeah, we all get excited about that. it's nice working with your friends.
Could you talk about Teresa's relationship with her boyfriend and what we're going to see from that moving forward since they are separated once the courting goes up?
Yeah, I think it's a really beautiful story because they're madly in love and they're young, but they're just very sure of this relationship and they just know, like they are the right people for each other. So it just plays into a really beautiful story and because they are both fighting so hard and want to see each other so much. And I think that creates, interesting story.
Do the characters in your universe have strong opinions about Claudia Black's character?
What do you
Just obviously she's a very public face of things.
mean? Yes.
Do people, I mean, kind of like how we view politicians, do people have different opinions?
Right now, for my character, Teresa, Lomas is purely giving her information on how to react and how to live and what to do and what's going on outside the courtroom. I mean, Teresa's not really paying much attention to Lomas at the moment.
Oh.
she's got other issues at hand.
So you're filming like 10 right now, correct? Episode 10, I mean?
11.
11.
Yeah.
So what's been the most interesting thing you've shot so far that you can talk about?
Oh, I can't talk about it.
Oh.
Yeah, I could definitely think about it. I definitely know what it is, but I can't talk about it. So you just need to watch it, the whole thing, so you can just find out what I'm talking about.
You talked about shooting the pilot and like the opening scene. Everyone's seen the pilot.
Yeah.
So maybe the opening scene where there's all the chaos going on in front of
That is quite fun. Anything that you get to any stunts are quite fun to do. So I think in the pilot you see it's not really a stunt. I wish I was doing more stunts, but I get knocked over by someone and then I get to scream. That's always quite fun.
Have you found it difficult to maintain a little bit of an emotional intensity?
I'm a very emotional person.
It seems like it'd be all stress, like a high stress.
Yes, it is, but when you get into these locations, I'm not sure if you remember from the pilot, but what I was talking about when I get knocked over and I'm inside the court and then there's, the National Guard and people running around. When you go to that location, you're put in it. And you really don't need to do that much because you're freaked out. I mean, you're surrounded by these big containers and people are going crazy. There's extras everywhere. It really makes your job quite easy in that situation. Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about where she is in life? Because when we were watching the pilot, we were kind of like, oh, how old is she? Is she in school? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, Teresa's had to stop school because she's in a later stage of the pregnancy. But she's 18, so she's quite young, but she would have been in her senior.
So she can make whatever decision she decides, she can make that on her own because she's 18.
Yes, she's just, yes, but she's got influence from her mother. So, she has to listen to her a bit.
Is it an interesting thing to shoot an entire season before anybody's seen any of it at all? And not get that feedback as it's airing?
That's quite interesting because all the other stuff I've shot in Australia, we always do that.
Oh, okay.
We would always shoot before, but I know that's not the way. It would be interesting to try the other way as well. But yeah, I can't. Yeah, I think it's nice to deliver a package here it is.
Do you think that she comes from a different point of view because she's not just worrying about herself from the virus, but she has this baby that she has to concern herself with as well?
That's an interesting question. I think, and that is kind of an inner turmoil as well because she constantly wants to do right for the baby inside her and wants, to be to put her baby first always, but just like naturally as a person, sometimes you're so scared and you'll just do something and it will be for your benefit, and you think, well, am I a selfish person? Am I a bad person? So you're constantly kind of fighting these thoughts while I guess should be constantly fighting these thoughts like that.
How was it filming with the prosthetic?
Gosh,
belly?
it's so
like,
good.
How long does it take
To put it on?
Away? Yeah.
Look, it's not that heavy. It's just like a bodysuit, like a leotard. Like
Uh-huh.
you're just doing some gymnastics with a massive belly. It was really fun to shoot with though, because I'd always have something to do. So you're just like, how sometimes it's a bit awkward when you put your arms down. You don't really know what to do with your arms. I was like, I'll just put them on my belly and rub my belly. Yeah, it was good. I liked it. And everyone was really nice. Like when I was getting in and out of cars and I'd have the belly, people would forget and they're like, oh, let me help you. I was like, I could get used to this.
Aside from like the obvious panic of being trapped, what is it kind of like for Teresa? Because it kind of seemed like she was getting ready to like make a break for it from her parents. And yet she's back and she's trapped with them without her boyfriend, who's kind of like a grounding presence for her.
Yeah, and I think so she was about to leave. I think you saw her in the pilot, and she's about to leave and she gets stuck. And that's kind of hard because, you build up to this moment of like, I'm going to leave home, and that's a big thing in itself. And then you can't, and then you're kind of like, not just like put back with your mum, you're trapped back with your mum at a grocery store, which is like the size of this room. So it makes for some interesting stories.
Do you think Teresa and her mom might become closer now that they are forced to be around each other?
Yes, I think you are forced to talk, and they're forced to try and see each other's points of view about life and about the arguments that they've been having. So, yeah.